Folks, welcome to another Shop Talk, and we are in Independence, Missouri, and I'm sitting here with Scotty Martin, and we're going to talk a little bit about Scotty's career. Scotty, you got started back in 1987, 16 years old.
16,
and,
yep.
I want to understand your dad had to back the car off the trailer for you.
Did not know how to drive a stick yet, so Dad would back it off the trailer, aim it the right direction. He'd put it in gear, I'd get in it, start it up in gear, and just go. Right on the track. So, I mean, it didn't take long to figure out how to drive it, but yeah. I mean, that's how we started.
I'll be darned, that is crazy. Now, this was CMS?
It was at CMS, yeah.
And in the street stock division?
Yep.
Is there any?
Hey, everybody's got to start somewhere, you know?
Did you have a driver's license?
Yeah. Maybe. I can't remember. I don't think so.
Is there anything you remember about any of those early races that comes to mind?
I mean, the racing itself, no, but we had a few incidents in the pits where I thought I was going to get beat up a few times.
Yeah.
You know, everybody be gone, and I'd be down at the car by myself, and
yeah.
here come a couple hot-headed racers mad at me, thinking I did something to them when they actually took themselves out. So, yeah.
Well, the exuberance of youth sometimes spills over into areas where it shouldn't, I guess you could say.
And back then I was a little mouthy, so actually I'm still a little mouthy, but I can understand why I looked like I was going to get beat up. So yeah.
It happens.
Yeah.
It's racing, a racing deal. In the early 90s, you take a try at the Sportsman late model, and you're running at places like Adrian, Savannah. You might say this was really kind of your early roots of really kind of starting to get into competitive racing. Yeah,
come pretty close to winning a couple races at Savannah. Won some heat races at Adrian and stuff. I mean, racing with my dad, you know, and a couple other buddies out there, and just trying dirt. I mean, we had a lot of fun. But Dad goes, all right, let's sell this stuff. Let's go race I-70, Lakeside. So, and you know, that's the year, I think, a couple years before then is when Lakeside built the new track and was asphalt. So that's where we went.
So you jump into asphalt, and according to my records here, it's about 92, 96, somewhere in that category.
Somewhere in there.
You're running the late model, and I think what you told me also was that at the time, you guys just really couldn't afford a late model, so you thought...
Yeah, like I said, we had like 3 or 4 different late models, you know, racing against Larry Phillips and and those guys out there. So
wow.
I mean, we had a lot of fun. Racing, of course, is fun, but you know, dabbled there a little bit, went to I-70 a little bit, then eventually had to, we tried to modify it. Yeah, better just to go to asphalt modified then. I mean, just because it seemed a little cheaper, and that's when they started racing 2 barrels, so it made it a little easier for us. We could build a motor for that.
Right. I would think it would have to be kind of one of those things where when you not really feel competitive and you're not in the middle of it, maybe it's time to try something else.
Yeah.
Was that the thinking more?
Well, pretty much. I mean, every week I went out, I thought I was going to win, but, you know, I think the other top 10 guys didn't think so.
Okay. Whoa, I'm about to go over. In 98, 97, 98, though, you make a switch to modified, like you say, at I-70, and you start running there 2 barrels.
Yep.
How much of a change was it to have to go from the late model into the modified?
Not a whole lot. I mean, of course, go to a little bit wider car. I mean, a little bit different stuff, smaller tires. I mean, the driving's a little different. I mean, it's almost like going from a dirt modified to a dirt late model. I mean, the jump, of course, the suspension's different, but just the different size tires and different stuff made it a little different.
Well,
I mean, it wasn't that bad. I mean, it was cool. We had a good time.
Was there that much difference in power between the 2 barrel and the 4 barrel and the modified? I mean, in the late model?
A little bit.
So you had a little bit more come back?
Yeah. It actually made it, because I was pretty young, made it a little easier for me to drive. And we were more competitive with it. So.
Yeah. In 99, 2001, you're back in a late model at I-70, and you have the biggest payday that you have in your career, $5,000.
Yep, got to run one of the World Cup races at I-70. Raced it against, actually, I think, John O'Neill was there. Clint Boyer was there for that one. So I think Clint had motor problems or something at that time. But we loaned him a starter. we tried to get him to pull blocker for us there at the end when he was a lap down, so we could catch John and I forget who was leading the race, but we finished third in the deal with our 2-barrel motor against their 4 barrels.
That had to have been a lot of fun back in those days. I mean, really, I-70 was at its heyday about that time.
Oh yeah, we always had a good time out there. I mean, even if they were open now, we'd go out there and race. We'd still have a good time. Yeah. Just because, I mean, I love the track. I love the speed of the track, and the design. I like it. I think it's a cool track.
Well, to me, it was big car counts, big crowds.
Yeah.
And like you say, you get those two things together, you're going to have a lot of excitement and a lot of fun going on. In 2003, though, you start making the switch back to dirt, and you're running street stocks, Grand Nationals, and by the way, I think I remember one of your fireball acts at Lakeside.
Yeah, I love that. Well, we had a problem with that motor. It drew a lot of vacuum internally, and it would actually suck a valve cover gasket in. If you don't change the valve cover gasket every 2 weeks, it would suck it in. Well, they got it a little early that time, and it started leaking. I think we ran 5 laps on fire, went from 5th to 2nd, but as soon as we pulled off the racetrack, it went out. Yeah,
it was fun to watch anyway.
A lot of people called me stupid for doing that, but I knew what was going on.
At the same time you were doing that, though, you were still running a few races at I-70. In fact, you won 3 out of 4 races, I believe, that you ran there in 2003 at I-70.
Yeah, I drove a car for Mark Hall, a car I built for my dad, early 90s, for out there at I-70. But yeah, we had a really good time with that.
We're going to move on now to 2007, 2008, which is probably, I'm going to use this word, hallmark.
Yeah, it is.
Years for Scotty Martin.
Yep.
And of course, most of this is going to take place at CMS. And before I forget it, also want to mention this was in a B mod, and also something I guess that you can add to your resume. This past year, you won the first B mod race at Lakeside.
Yeah, I won the first one, the inaugural, so that was good.
So you got some things you can put down on the resume.
That's right.
But 2007, 2008, it is a banner year, 2 years for you, in that you win 2 track championships and 26 features.
Yeah, within those 2 years. Yeah.
Must have been some fun.
It was a lot of fun. I mean, that car, the first year was in Sweetie, and the second year was in a car that I built. Which was just like Sweetie. I mean, that's one that my nephew drives now, and they're both great cars.
Yeah.
I think I could get in either one of them right now and try to go out and win a race. So,
in case somebody out there doesn't know, old Sweetie is Chad Lyle's old A mod.
Yeah, when he won a championship with out at Lakeside.
Yeah, who knows how many feature wins he had?
It had a lot.
And how many did I think you were telling me?
I think we added on from where he started, because he told us how many races he won in it. It was like 50-some races, and then, like I said, we're up to like 79 or something like that now. So.
Man, that's a bunch. That's a bunch of races. We might just touch on it briefly. I'm not into controversy a lot, but I know there was some question those 2 years or part of those years or whatever about maybe there were some things illegal.
Yeah, like I said, I went over my car more than anybody else did, more than the track guys did, just because I know they were looking for something to DQ me over. So, okay, so I read the rules, and I just, the way we decided to do our heads was that way, and there wasn't a CC rule, there just was no angle mill rule, and I mean, that's just the way it ended up. So the next year, after they found it, they go, well, they wanted to change it, so that's what they did.
So they changed the rules after
they found out what we were doing. But the same night that they found ours, there was other people that had the same thing too.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was already there.
Just more or less reading the gray area,
like
you say, and filling in between the lines.
Yep.
I'm just going to mention 2009. You've kind of made the switch to A mods. You've been running that a little bit. You've had 4 second-place finishes at Valley.
Yep.
And things are starting to go along. But we want to get down here toward the end of this. I know there's some people you want to thank.
Oh yeah, I want to thank my mom and dad. Larry Martin and Access Auto Salvage. I got Jake. I got Dawn. I got Cameron. Of course, my nephew Gunner, my cousin Chris. I mean, without all those guys, everybody that goes with us every week to the racetrack, I mean, couldn't do it. Of course, I got to thank my wife. If I don't thank her, she'll thump me on the back of the head. She puts up with all my stuff, so.
Okay. Well, folks, it's going to wrap up another Shop Talk here with Scotty Martin. Scotty, we look forward to seeing you at the track this year.
We'll be there.